Now, renowned veterinary specialist and epidemiologist Dr. Martin Hook says efforts to identify potential animal sources of COVID-19 have yet to yield positive results. Netherlands-based Martin Hook, who is researching the coronavirus pandemic, says there is no scientific evidence that infected pets can transmit the disease to humans. He says pet owners should not rush into dispensing with such animals. Dr. Hook was answering questions at a webinar conference organized online for science journalists across the world. JoyNews' Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin joined the session and has filed this report.
So we've been monitoring them. So we look very closely at the genetic makeup of this virus. And we have found a very similar virus in the pendolin, but it hasn't been a perfect match yet. So we're still looking to the exact animal source, and we're not sure why we haven't found it yet. And we may never find it if it was some obscure animal from an illegal animal trade or bushmeat. But we have strong indication that this came from pendolin-like animal. SARS was from a civet cat. We found a perfect match in the genetic makeup of the virus in the civet cat and in the human population.
Questions range from replication of viruses in humans to how their genetic materials change.
The coronavirus, each time a virus replicates in a human cell, its genetic material changes due to errors in replication. And in the most cases, this results in a virus not being viable, not being infectious, and in some cases it results in the virus being more infectious. And also, as we see viral infections evolving with us, we see that the mortality rate of the virus actually goes down, while the virulence, so the ability to infect us, goes up. So it learns to live with us. And that is a natural selection process of the errors that are occurring each time the virus particles are replicated inside our human cells.
The veterinary specialist indicates there is a lot to be done in finding a vaccine.
And that's very interesting. It leads to very interesting, beautiful pictures of the genetic makeup of these viruses as they spread through our world and to our populations. Does it pose a problem for vaccine development? No and yes. So now at this stage, the genetic variety is not so large that it will cause us trouble. What we do expect at this stage is that the coronavirus will start to behave similar to what we see with influenza, is that it will keep on changing, and it will do our best to keep an eye on which strains are circulating either in the global south or the global north, so we can start to make vaccines for that. But as said, we still have a lot of work to do on vaccines. They're still far away.
Another key area of concern for participants is whether the virus transmits through waterways.
So the short answer is no, it cannot be transmitted through waterways. It is mostly transmitted now to pretty close contact. That's why we have some countries have 1.5 meter social distancing, other countries have 2 meters social distancing, and it's done by sneezing, by the droplets that are produced when you sneeze, and by hand hygiene, because with your hand you touch your face.
Dr. Hawk says stressed animals are mostly to spill over more virus.
Animals and humans, for that matter, are stressed. Their immune system is suppressed, and therefore the virus is less controlled, and therefore it is able to infect more cells within their bodies, and therefore you get a higher viral load. A good example of that is actually the 1918 Spanish influenza outbreak. It's after the World War, and we see that a lot of people are stressed in many ways, not just mentally stressed, but also physically stressed. So there was malnutrition, and it was very poor healthcare. And all these stress factors result in suboptimal functioning of your immune system, and therefore a virus can do its thing for longer than before it's controlled, if at all, by the body, and therefore spread more easily as well. So yes, stress is an important change, let's say, in helping to spread diseases.
Dr. Hope also spoke about BAS, a report by Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin.